I grew up on the west side, so I knew a little bit about Record Town, but I didn't realize that everyone at Pascal and TCU, that life revolved around Record Town, and it's where everybody went and got the latest records, the latest LPs. You know, it was just the music capital, and that was in the 60s, and by the 70s when I came along, you know, it was this place where you learned about music. You might come in asking for, you know, some jazz record or some blues, and maybe something you'd heard on the radio, and Sumter would show you something else and teach you about something else.
Sumter was one of these portals into the blues, into this whole weird world. Sumter was one of the seasoned pros, and you knew that. We all knew that. And so it was like, you'd go talk to him about records and stuff, and he'd know his shit.
And Sumter would say, well, you know, if you like Bob Wills, you know, this is the T-Bone Walker where a lot of the music comes from. And he would kind of, you know, cross-pollinate the music and teach you about it.
Sumter knew so much about that music, you know, turned me on to so many things. Then I met Freddie, and so did he, you know. He had a vast knowledge of all the Freddie King and all these guys, and just like a whole new world opened up to me. We used to go over to Sumter's all the time after the gig and stay up all night listening to records and drinking and whatever else was around.
Stephen was in a bluegrass when I first met him, and you know, bluegrass, and then he's with Chris Christopherson, so he kind of came to blues back afterwards. But Sumter was a blues cat, and you know, their dad was a jazz drummer. These were very sophisticated, musically speaking, for Fort Worth. Very sophisticated people. And I think that's kind of one thing that when I look at the record shop and the fact that it endured as long as it has, is kind of, that's a tribute to that. And to two generations that were very hip, receptive, and willing to do the retail thing. And now it's kind of, you know, the challenge is, do you carry that on? How do you reinvent yourself to continue doing that? But that's what this is. It's an institution. Sound Warehouse and Budget Records are not institutions. The Record Town is an institution.
I believe